Thanks for tuning in to a very special edition of Another Dolphins podcast. You've heard the news. We are here to talk about it. We spent a month. Will he be back for the start of the regular season? Will he start on the physically unable to perform list? He will not. Jaelan Phillips is back, Joshua Houtz. Our prince has returned.
Our prince is back. Everything's right in this world. I mean, we got football back and, we called our victory Monday, like you were saying before we came on here, Jake, but this truly feels like the victory. I mean, I had no idea this was going to happen. We continue to see, the baby steps in playing golf, this and that, the rehab, but I did not wake up this morning thinking we were going to see that Jaelan Phillips was off the PUP list, and he's already out there practicing, right? We see him doing some drills and things like that. So we always say check your pulse if you're not fired up, but it's a good day to be a Dolphins fan.
And the first thing I noticed about having him back, there's so much to take in here because there was, I thought we were going to spend the next month, will he, won't he type of thing with just like Bradley Chubb. I think Bradley Chubb is more likely to miss probably the first 6 weeks, but that's not what this is about. This is about the fact that for all the heartache that was endured by us as fans, and more importantly, by these players who put in so much, and dude, was there a worse part of the season than watching Hard Knocks and seeing or hearing what Jaelan Phillips, why did this happen to be a man? Mike McDaniel was talking about he's going to be a star. You felt the pain for him. This is the first victory Monday of the 2024 NFL season comes on August 12th with Jaelan Phillips being back practicing. And I just want to say, man, he brought an absolute aura with him. We had this idea of we hope Chop Robinson's back. We see Emmanuel Ogbah coming back. Jaelan Phillips, it felt like commanded the entire practice. He was up at the podium saying it was great. I'm taking Mohamed Kamara under my wings. Chop Robinson looks better than I did my rookie year, but I can't wait to see him have some emotion, have some fun playing. Just the way he brought himself back to this football team, absolutely incredible, man. That's why I'm happy we were able to come on here in front of an awesome looking background you created as well.
Glad you threw that out there. Yeah, we put together a new background, so hopefully it looks more appealing. But, dude, I'm just, I'm over the moon excited. I wrote that in the article for the Finsider. I mean, this is a guy who I've been on record as saying is probably my favorite player, and we know how important he is to this defense. We joked he was in the Ring of Honor after, maybe a few preseason snaps. This changes everything for Anthony Weaver's defense, I think. And, again, just a testament to how different he is, right? I mean, we see that he's a physical specimen. We see him getting better each and every year, but this guy set out to accomplish things that, many people thought were, unobtainable, and he's back within 8.5 weeks. He's off the physically unable to perform list. Again, we should temper expectations. It might be a little bit before we see that elite player that we had last season, but damn, it feels good to have Jaelan Phillips back.
And I thought there'd be a little bit more of a build-up period. We'd see him doing more on the sideline. But the fact he's just already back, getting interviewed, fully practicing, it's exciting to see, and it gets you really hyped up about what this defense is building. And I'll be the first to say it, man. Seeing Jaelan Phillips just listed as a starter when it was Emmanuel Ogbah, Quentin Bell, no offense to those guys, man, but it's a world of difference knowing you got Jaelan Phillips setting the tone at edge.
Yeah, I mean, he's a whole different breed, right? I mean, this is a superstar player that's going to be that we already see as one of those elite pass rushers. I mean, everyone talks about the top 100 and things like that. If he doesn't get hurt, he's probably in there. So we were fine with Emmanuel Ogbah. We like what we see out of Quentin Bell. He's a nice feel-good story. Chop Robinson sounds like he's hungry and wants to get better, but you got Jaelan Phillips back now. And, again, we sat here and weren't sure what was going to happen, whether he'd start season on PUP list. It feels freaking awesome to have him back. It just you're wondering how this changes that defense, right? I mean, you're getting a guy back that last season I'd written down was on pace to, break career highs in tackles, sacks. I think he had 8.5 his rookie season, which was a franchise record. He had 6.5, midway through last season, 11 quarterback hits and interception. This is a guy who his best football is still ahead of him. And again, it's just a testament to what type of breed of a player he is. And I don't want to say this has anything to do with it, Jake, but he is up for a contract, right? So getting back healthy, going out there and regaining, that play that we've seen out of him probably means a lot to Jaelan Phillips. So stoked to have him back because, again, this defense is a lot different with him out there.
Stoked to have him back. Stoked to see him get paid. Stoked to see him getting that Ring of Honor someday. With the good news, Josh, there was a little bit of bad news. I thought we escaped the preseason game with nothing major coming out of it, but Grayson Murphy was placed on injured reserve. His season is done with, I think I saw an MCL injury, so that was an absolute blow to this defense. And I think Cam Brown is another guy that we learned is going to be missing some time. So, Josh, You got Jaelan Phillips back, but it's a little disappointing. Grayson Murphy was a guy we spoke about a little bit, undrafted free agent, but he was always when you think about that UCLA defense, like he was right there in the top of pressures and a real impact player for that defense. And it took us, 3/4 of him being in a Dolphins jersey to think he could be an impact player despite being an undrafted rookie.
Yeah, even that, even if it was that long, I think it was like 2 plays into the game, he was already, disengaging from a lineman and making a tackle in the backfield. So we all know his statistics, like you mentioned, the highest pressure rate or whatever it was, definitely a blow. But when you're getting Jaelan Phillips back, I mean, it sucks, but maybe long term, maybe later down the road, we see Grayson Murphy coming in here and doing something. You said we might have missed the injury bug, Jake, but we're putting together this rundown, and I'm going through it, and I see Alan Popar of the Sports Illustrated wrote down all the players that he did not see in practice. And my God, man, Jeff Wilson, Salvin Ahmed, Anthony Schwartz, Tanner Connor, Jordy Fortson, Aaron Brewer, Neville Gallimore, Benito Jones, Muhammad Kamara, Ethan Bonner, Jalen Ramsey, and Cam Smith. Hopefully there's not a lot of guys there that, we have to worry about or be concerned about. But I'm sitting here putting this together and I'm thinking, okay, we're sitting pretty good right now. And then I go through the tweets and I'm like, oh, damn, I completely missed this. And that's a pretty significant thing to miss. So hopefully it's just precautions. They're getting ready to have the dress rehearsal with the Commandos this week. But that was a long list of players that they said were not spotted dressed this earlier Monday morning.
Mohamed Kamara and Cam Smith are kind of the two that stick out to me right away. I was kind of hoping Kamara would be kind of in that Chop Robinson bucket in the sense of he was close to playing and he didn't play in the preseason game, and Mike McDaniel kept him out to be safe, and maybe we'd see him be back Monday like we did see with Chop Robinson. That's not the case. And then Cam Smith is just someone that we're waiting for the opportunity. We see what? Ethan Bonner gets hyped up because he's targeted 4 times and does a great job. Storm Duck on the other side gets, I think, targeted 5 times, does a great job. We wanted to see Cam Smith out there, so that's another one that's a little concerning for me. I won't read too much into like the maybe the Jeff Wilsons and the Jalen Ramseys. Those kind of maybe seem like vet days. Tanner Connor, I think, was it him that Mike McDaniel worded it a little weirdly where he said after this week he'll be week to week, something like that along those lines?
Yeah, I missed the presser, but it was something really Mike McDanielish, right? And I mean, that was a guy who looked pretty darn good, Tanner Connor. We saw him, you mentioned it, breaking an arm tackle and getting that yak, but just that laundry list of names. Hopefully, again, nothing too concerning with 2 weeks into second preseason game coming up. Should not be too worried right now. Hopefully, just precautionary stuff for Miami.
Let's end here, Josh, on a good note. We did have a lot of key pieces of the squad back on Monday. Saran Neal back healthy, good to go. I know he was banged up a little bit after the preseason game. Really set the tone. I thought he really brought just like a Buffalo Bills attitude to the defense. Just no need for stats or anything, but just kind of as you watch it as a fan for a couple of years, it just felt like that physicality, that attitude was there. Braxton Berrios, Eric Ezukama back in action. Same with Jordan Brooks and Chop Robinson. Josh, for those guys, anyone there stand out for you? Anyone you're really excited to see in action?
I mean, I'm all stoked to see all of them, but Eric Ezukama, I mean, I'm sitting there again going through this list of people, and you're like, dude, do you have him on a list? And I'm like, wait, he's back already? I mean, this was a guy that seemed like, if you go based off of tweets last week, it was doom and gloom, and we don't even know if he was ever going to show up again. So it's nice to see him out there. I want to see him make some plays, maybe step up in that room that could use another playmaker, for being honest, but might be an uphill battle for him. Jordan Brooks getting back out there and getting his feet wet. And Jordan Poyer, he had a club on his hand. I tweeted out that was an added DLC in the new Madden game, but then I realized that was probably ignorant to say, but because they said club, and I just pictured him with this big Billy club, like running around hitting people, and then they're like, it's like just like a tape or something on his wrist, and I'm like, I'll better delete that.
But like that, there are the two sides, because I think you do reach a point in the season where it is like people are running around with a club. Like I remember what Alec Ingold 2 years ago, he was out there with just a club because he had a broken hand. I think it was.
Tell us how you feel. Didn't someone target him? Tell us about it. You idiot! Dude, you used to get so mad. Like, you dumbass. Was it Skylar Thompson? I think.
Oh my God, you're throwing the ball to Alec Ingold with a broken hand. Oh my God, dude. There's like just putting him out in motion or even having him out there running routes with a broken hand was just so freaking funny to me. But I digress. I agree with you, man, that I'm like super excited to see someone like Eric Ezukama back, just because a couple stat lines from Friday night. Kyric McGowan targeted 6 times, 2 receptions. Malik Washington targeted 4 times, 1 reception. Willie Snead targeted 3 times, 0 receptions. Braylon Sanders, 0 for 4. Jaquan Burton, 0 for 3. You get the point. Eric Ezukama's shown something in the past, and he's shown something very dynamic and very unique to this offense. We saw Malik Washington get 21 yards on an end around on Friday night based on his speed. Eric Ezukama can do that, but in a totally different way just because of his versatility as a little bit of a bigger body. So that's the guy that sticks out to me. I think I got kind of sidetracked too, but was it Jordan Poyer's wife came on or went on Twitter and said, like, all right, everyone's overreacting a little bit. The injury is not that bad. And that's kind of the sense we got with that type of injury. So I get the sense that they're calling it a club because it was taped. But Josh, I'm going to side with you here because eventually you get that Billy Club and it is literally the club. Like, so sorry, I had a little side street tangent there, but we got back to the club.
Yeah, we're back. And the Dolphins, a lot of their playmakers are back. And, you know, you're kind of starting to see it all come together, right? And we just hope that we continue to see healthy pieces coming back and a lot less of these guys, you know, getting banged up. And who knows, man? I'm stoked. Do you want to mention the guys they signed? I don't know. They seem like they're just camp bodies. David Anini and Wyatt Ray. Hopefully I didn't mess that name up the first one. But Wyatt Ray was a UFL standout last season. A couple acorns to fill some of those spots that the Dolphins gave up. So who knows, man? Who knows if any of those guys will rise to the top?
Josh, I was thinking about we could end this with a special message I heard. It's a little bit of a positive note to end this podcast on. So I'm just going to read to you this message that I also read, and I figured we could react to said message. Is that cool? We're just going to kind of chill, vibe it out a little bit. You ready? You ready for this message?
I'm scared. I don't know. You could be setting me up for anything. Could be one of our angry fans. Could be anything.
We have informed Hassan that we will not trade him and that he is expected to be here with his teammates and that he will continue to be fined for the CBA if he does not report. Since trade discussions back in March, we have been clear, direct, and consistent with our position. Our focus will remain on the guys that we have here as we prepare for the regular season. Josh, that message comes directly from New York Jets general manager Joe Douglas speaking about Hassan Reddick, a defensive end they traded a draft pick for 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's amazing. Hassan Reddick's got to be one of my favorite players in all of football. I think I liked him pre-draft. He went to the Eagles and did a little bit, and now he's just absolutely sticking it to the Jets. So, and was a conditional third, I think they gave up for him too. So, could not have happened to a better team. And it just goes to show you that's not all sunshine and roses there in Jersey. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to write that at the end, and I completely forgot. So, it's nice not to be the Jets, baby.
I think we got to put Riddick in the Ring of Honor just for this, man. This is absolutely hilarious. And this is just kind of, we still panic about the Dolphins. I see a lot of people still having that internal monologue of it's the same old Dolphins. It's all doom and gloom and everything sucks. This is a team that has 4 straight years without a losing record, right? This is a team that has won back-to-back playoff berths. Enjoy it. Have some fun with things. Because at the end of the day, we're not the New York Jets.
JETS, suck.
And that is it. That is all the time we have on a brief little episode of Another Dolphins podcast. We had to come in and celebrate the return of Jaelan Phillips. Thank you all for joining us. We will be back later this week to talk about the Dolphins and Commandos. But go enjoy the week. Enjoy the sun. We'll talk to you soon. But until then, fins up.
Fins up.
Fins up.